Guys, Donald Trump is losing in Pennsylvania, and he already knows it. And we know this because he has already started challenging and suing everywhere he can go, claiming fraud and all kinds of things. Let's go ahead and watch a first video here.
So, if you have a mail-in ballot, get that damn ballot in, please, immediately, because they've already started cheating in Lancaster. They've cheated. We caught it with 2,600 votes.
They've already
So,
started cheating, so we know for a fact that when Trump is losing something, we know this from his golf game, we know this from the last election, and every election or anything he's ever done, when he is losing, it is impossible. It is that the other side is cheating. So it seems to be that they have some internal polling that is not looking particularly good. We also have the early vote numbers, but we are trying not to read too much into that, although Democrats have about a 2-1 lead in Pennsylvania at that point. So somewhat interesting, but again, take it with a grain of salt. Trump campaign is suing a Pennsylvania county to extend mail ballot application deadline amid long lines. So there are some long lines there in Pennsylvania. A lot of the time, the long lines or any kind of situation that seems like voter suppression, you could pretty much chalk that up to Republican legislatures doing everything and anything they can to make voting more difficult. So this is a classic Republican strategy: cause a problem and then go ahead and complain or sue about that problem and blame the Democrats, even though it was you yourself and your side that caused the problem in the first place. Classic Republican trick. Don't fall for it. This is just another way to muddy the water. Say we look, they were cheating. They were cheating so badly that we had to sue them. We had to sue them here. We had to sue them there, and they were cheating so rampantly and so vigorously that they stole the election, and it was a fraud. And you have to give us another recount or another redo or a fake electors slate or something, and blah blah blah. So, of course, this is all coming on the heels of the Puerto Rico scandal, if you will. The comedian calling Puerto Rico an island of garbage. I know I've sort of been harping on this in several videos now, but I think it's potentially going to have an impact. You had Tony Hinchcliffe there. You can go ahead and watch those videos all over the internet. I've posted those on my channel. Um, and obviously, not the smartest thing to do to insult people. You have a large number, about 500,000 of the voters. Potentially, I don't know. I think population might be a little bit more than that. But of the voters there are Puerto Rican, many more Hispanic voters that are going to be talking to their friends, spreading the word, spreading that video. And that came at a Trump rally from somebody with the Trump brand right across his chest. So that is not a good sign. I've told you about those early vote numbers, about 2-1 again for Donald Trump. Then you can go and say, well, if you're Trump, here's the silver lining. You go to the polling and you see a lot of even and a lot of red in the run up here. However, when you look into the actual polls that are coming out, Atlas Intel has been just vigorously, what's the word, biased in terms of their strategies, their approach to polling. Everything they get has a heavy Republican lean into it. It's actually the reason that they were more accurate in 2020 because they were someone that was juicing more Republican support into their polls. They happen to be right. Hey, every a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while. So their methodology happened to be right in that election. I don't think that their strategy is going to be right this time around. The standard for the pollsters these days is to juice in a lot of Republican support otherwise, and Atlas Intel is even doing a little bit more than the norm. So too much Trump support juiced into their polling there. And even with all of that juicy Republican leaning polling, Trump is only ahead by about zero point 0.7 in the polls there. I don't think that's going to hold up. And the reason why we saw a similar dynamic in the 2022 election, and Oz was not able to hold on to that lead, not even close. He ends up losing by 5 percentage points. So potentially similar dynamic happening once again in Pennsylvania. I don't think Trump has the votes. I think they're going to do everything in their power to sue and scheme and blame in order to try and win Pennsylvania. They need Pennsylvania because that makes up a key cornerstone of their strategy to break the blue wall and cut off one of the pretty much the most important pathway to victory to the White House for the Democrats, for Kamala and Tim Walz moving forward. So that is pretty much that. We'll go ahead and finish it up here with this MSNBC clip where they are discussing in a little more detail this lawsuit, and then we will close it out.
We have breaking news from the Trump campaign involving a lawsuit against Bucks County, Pennsylvania. Let's go back to NBC's Dasha Burns. Dasha, what do we know about this?
All right, so we just received an email from the Trump-Vance campaign saying that they have filed a lawsuit over voter suppression in Pennsylvania. The press release states that this is a direct violation of Pennsylvania's right to cast their ballot. All voters have a right to stay in line, claiming that Bucks County, Pennsylvania has been turning away voters. Now, we're looking into all of these claims, Jose, but as I said to you earlier, Pennsylvania has been a specific focus for the Trump campaign when it comes to these claims of voter suppression. The former president posting earlier claiming that there's fraud going on, widespread fraud in Pennsylvania, which we have not seen evidence of. And Bucks County in particular, Jose, is a pretty critical county. It's one of the collar counties around Philadelphia, the suburban counties where both the Trump campaign and the Harris campaign really need to run up their numbers. It could be those counties surrounding Philadelphia that could be the tipping point in this election. So the fact that they are focused in on Bucks in particular is significant, Jose.
There you have it. Don't believe any of it for a second, guys. Trump is a schemer. Trump is a fraud. Trump is a liar, and they're doing everything in their power to try to put forward the perception once again that there is some kind of massive fraud going on in our elections. Um, it's sickening. It's sad. It's disturbing, and let's get rid of these people politically with our votes before it is too late.